how did we get to this point to where a real-life government is now classifying, and I'm not joking when I say this, the One Piece Straw Hat Pirate flag as a terrorist symbol? How have we gotten here? Let me, summarize, just, everything that has happened now in the last 2 weeks. And this is a very quick summary, okay? I'm gonna speed run this. It started off with Collective Shout screaming at Steam and itch.io to get them to remove games, okay? Hundreds upon hundreds of games, thousands technically for counting itch and Steam together. Then, days after that, UK releases the Online Safety Act, and they effectively neuter the entire internet and force you to verify through ID and just basically dox yourself to even be able to get on the internet, all in the sake of protecting kids. However, within 24 hours of the Online Safety Act coming into effect in the UK, you have the government create a police monitoring task force to monitor what people say online if they have opinions that they disagree with. Like, for instance, if it's a political opinion they don't like you saying, or if it's you talking about a topic they don't want you to talk about, they're gonna go up to your door and they're gonna arrest you. They made a monitoring task force in 24 hours. Then, after that, we have literally a politician on live television admitting that, yes, they wanted to make this law, the Online Safety Act, to monitor adults and censor free speech of adults. Straight up admitted it. On live television, we all saw it. I played it in a video, a few days ago. Then we go past that and we get into the situation with everything else, with Wikipedia getting forced to censor itself or bow down. You have UK government basically requesting the United States different companies and sites and businesses to censor themselves in accordance with the UK law of the Online Safety Act. You have actual politicians within America basically saying we don't like this, but then we find out that America has this COSA Act, Kids Online Safety Act, which pretty much does the exact same thing as the UK. It is literally pretty much what they're doing right now. There is the Screen Act that is the exact same thing, but it's just under a different name, and so you have two different laws in the United States government trying to do the exact same thing that, the UK already managed to pass. And then what makes it even worse, on top of that, a lot of people started to find out that the same laws, like Online Safety Act, Kids Online Safety Act, Screen Act, all this is in other governments. You have, Canada, they have a government as well. Their government is, having the exact same law. I think it's S209. I'll have a picture on screen. And then you have, Australia. They're having the exact same thing. They're having a whole thing to where they're going to start restricting the internet this upcoming December and all that. And then you go one step further, the European Union, the EU or Europe, they are also implementing, this DSA or whatever, digital something, but it does the exact same thing as the UK Online Safety Act. And so it's just it is non-stop censorship after just privacy invasion and these government overreach back to back. And then it gets much worse. Even if we disregard the little stuff here and there, the little nuanced things going on here and there, another big bombshell is that YouTube went out of their way to announce that, hey, we are going to now start requesting age verification in the United States if you try to use our platform. Once again, reiterate this, United States. We're not talking about UK. We're not talking about Australia. We're not talking about Canada. We're not talking about EU or Europe or anything. We're talking about United States that doesn't even have a law like this passed. Age verification law. It's just in Congress. They did that, and they're sweeping it. It's happening. August 13th. A lot of YouTubers are talking about this. Now, we have this. We have a situation. We have a situation where there is now, apparently rebellion, and people are dissatisfied with governments. And we have an anime, One Piece, being utilized as an act of rebellion. And then also, straight up, being labeled a threat. What is this year, man? What is this year? I want to point out something, that what I just talked about, all those bullet points, is a short summary. It is an astronomically short summary to everything going on. I could have talked about the whole stuff with MasterCard basically calling everyone liars, calling Steam, calling itch.io, calling Japan, calling, these different sites, calling all them basically liars and saying they're not censoring people. I could have talked about that in length, and there's a lot more associated with that as well. what is going on, man? Like, anyone looking at this right now could just straight up say, and I think we can all agree, this is coordinated. Like, this does not happen back to back like this in just 2 weeks, okay? Like, it's just literally being sped run so quickly. People can't even keep up. Like, there is literally new information that comes out every single day, stuff that's even more horrendous to find out about, and like, it makes you depressed seeing. And it's just like, it's so much going on around the world with all this information of age verification, real ID, the internet under attack, to just YouTube doing changes, to the Spotify, to the Discord, to the Wikipedia. It's just like, and then even Internet Archive now being like an active library officially recognized by the United States government. Like, they're involved in it. I haven't done too much research into that one, but even still, it's like, there's a lot, okay, going on. And it's clear. It's very obvious. There is just a straight up attack on the internet. It's like, you want to know something that is really horrifying about this whole thing? I'm going to point out here. I want to show this real quick. YouTube could be forced to promote British public service TV content. This was posted on Financial Times, as you can see at the top there. And what makes this really devious, this entire article actually, is to normally access this post, you have to buy a subscription just to be able to read this. And so a lot of people are not even going to be able to know what's in this, what's being said in this article. Thankfully, I was able to screen grab and get stuff from it. But basically, to kind of summarize this article very briefly, the UK government is very much in the stage of wanting to become a police state, okay? And anyone trying to say they're just banning adult games or they're trying to think of the children are just lying to themselves. They are gaslighting you, and honestly, at this point, people that are saying that, I have to believe that there's some form of plant. Like, I have to believe they're either a bot or they're someone that is actively getting paid by certain governments to say this. Because, I'm just gonna say, anyone with a working brain could see what's going on here. And it's not about protecting kids. It's not about, obviously, trying to keep kids off the internet. It's trying to literally restrict free speech, freedom of expression, fictional content, anime, manga, gaming, and everything in between. It's literally just there to restrict people and tighten the grip around your throat where you can't even say anything anymore. And this right here, this is the most damning evidence, honestly, so far. I mean, there's been a lot of damning evidence, but this here is just truly horrifying because this article, you can't even access without actually paying for it. So there's so many people that are going to be completely unaware of this and unaware of what is being said in it, what Financial Times was able to bring up, but also what YouTube is doing, and YouTube is apparently on board with this. This is a passage from the article. A YouTube spokesperson said, "We are proud of our relationship with British broadcasters and are committed to ensuring that they thrive in the digital era." A DCM's spokesperson said that ministers would now consider their recommendations. You would not be able to even know this was being said in the article unless you paid for it. Or screen grabbed it like I was managed to do. It's actually crazy. It's legitimately insane. But even if we disregard that, YouTube is obviously, in this moment, they're complying. They're complying with what the UK wants. And what does this effectively mean? Well, it means that when you click on the homepage, regardless if you're subscribed to different content creators or not subscribed to anything that's going to be said here, you're going to have British public service TV appear in your homepage feed, in your For You page, or whatever. Just when you search for content on YouTube, it's going to appear. And I'm assuming this is probably going to only affect, people that live in UK, but it might go out of it, I don't know, but the big red flag here, okay, this is the big red flag, regardless if it's only strictly for the UK at the moment. The red flag is that it is only UK at the moment, and the fact that YouTube is obviously bending over backwards just to do this, and they legit have already introduced age verification. I mean, that whole thing, the debacle has been happening for a few days now, people are finding out about. It's obvious, it's very obvious that YouTube is heavily working with these governments and just doing what they say, and they are willing to censor content or literally feed you propaganda. That's exactly what this is. It legitimately is. It is propaganda being fed to you. And even if some of these service announcements are important and they might say some truths, the point is that they're forcing it on you and making you have to see it, have to hear it, and they're making sure you can't avoid it. That is legitimate forcing of propaganda to where you can't ignore it and you have to hear it from one certain perspective. On top of that, with this announcement, with this coming out, this is apparently on the actual official UK government site. You now cannot talk about, like, for instance, cultural nationalism and mass migration without being labeled, I'm not joking, a terrorist. They literally say it's a terrorist act to talk about cultural nationalism. And I just want to point this out, that all this is happening just back to back. Like, all this new stuff just continues to happen, and it's just been a domino effect that's getting worse. And regardless of whatever side you're on, left or right, it doesn't matter. It's very clear that these governments are wanting to divide us. It's very clear that they're wanting us to argue and yell at each other and not talk about this real serious issue at hand. The entire collective of the internet is under attack. The entirety of freedom of expression and speech and just literature and fiction and all that is under attack. It's very clear that there is just something going on, and once again, call me a conspiracy theorist, but all this stuff back to back with, like, these laws, for instance, like with S209, this is Canadian law, by the way, that is trying to do the exact same thing with age verification, the same thing that UK already passed, and then this is also, you know, the Australian government talking about protecting kids from harm from social media and restricting, you know, sites and stuff, you know, people that are under 16, you know, is going to need, you know, to actually be kicked offline, which sounds good in theory, but it's very clear what they're trying to do. They're doing an age verification process with IDs and stuff like that. But then we also have the EU, you know, European Union and Europe. They are launching their digital age verification system by 2026. This is systematically happening all at once. It is happening so quickly that it's stun-locking the entirety of the world. That people are just so spaced out. They don't know what to focus on. Because let's just think about this. I bullet pointed so much stuff that happened at the beginning of this video. With, like, for instance, with MasterCard, with Visa, with payment processors, with Collective Shout, with UK government, Online Safety Act, to COSA, Kids Online Safety Act, to, you know, the EU, to Australia, to Canada. There is a lot of stuff going on. And then, you know, also Indonesia, you know, labeling One Piece as a terrorist icon. Like, when you have all this just back-to-back going on, like, it's just continuously is getting worse and worse, it is causing people to not really know what to say, what to think, or honestly, they're so split apart that they don't even know what to fight for. Because it's like, obviously, the answer is to fight for the internet, to fight for freedom of expression and fiction, but when every collective country is doing the exact same thing, it's hard to really rally against one central point when it's literally pretty much every government involved at this point. It's actually horrifying, and it's scary to me that there is so many people that are legitimately not talking about this. Like, right now, people are only talking about either UK, payment processors, Collective Shout, or they're talking about COSA. Nobody's talking about the EU. Nobody's talking about what's going on here with the EU. Nobody's talking about what's happening in Canada with 209. Nobody's talking about Australia doing the exact same thing as well and using the exact same excuses to protect kids. And then you have stuff like this with, like, now trying to call people terrorists for just having a different political opinion on things, just talking about stuff online. It's very obvious what's going on here. It's rampant. It's clear that you have all these different companies, all these different businesses, they're working together to just rein everything in. And one big showcase of this, I think, is YouTube, actually. I mean, I'm just gonna say, I might be crazy when I say this, but if you look at my videos I've been uploading for the last, like, week or so, I've been talking about the subject a lot. And there's always a chance maybe the video just didn't do well. That's fine. But as soon as I name dropped YouTube negatively, like 2 days ago, talking about them introducing ID, forced ID, suddenly, my videos after that now have had half the views on these topics. Just completely cut. And I looked at the analytics for, like, my video, okay? That came out yesterday about the same topic that was actually very important. Suddenly, half. Just straight up half. And it, like, I saw the line go like this, and then it, like, in the analytics. I'm just like, that's very strange. Very strange for my videos. That does not happen. And once again, maybe just the video left the algorithm. I don't know. It's possible. It is. Because I don't have proof for this. But it is strange that suddenly when there is a big conversation around censorship and then even YouTube being brought into question, my video just kind of weird. I saw similar reports from other content creators as well. And I even saw reports of people not even being paid revenue for the last few days because of an error with YouTube. So, clearly, something weird's going on. That's my 2 cents. Now, that one probably will label me as a conspiracy theorist. That's fine. Call me one if you want. But regardless of that, I just wanted to bring this up because all these topics are very important to discuss. Everybody needs to keep talking about this because they want you to just stop talking about it. They want you to be silent. They want you to give up. They want you to think that there is no correct answer, or they want you to think that there's no solution to this. They just want you to roll over and accept it. Do not do that. It's not good. And it's not okay to accept the invasion of privacy and the removal of you to express yourself freely within fiction and all that. It is not okay. And I will fight for those freedoms because that is what I believe in. And I believe in that because it's like, if you censor content that you deem, like, let's say, taboo, or you censor content that is like, let's say adult games, for instance, it doesn't stop there. It keeps getting worse. It will censor content that, you like. Eventually, it will hit you. I mean, let's look at what's happened with Steam and itch.io, for instance. And then we now have, like, even BL stuff in Japan being attacked, too, as of late. I haven't even talked about that subject, but you had actual Japanese politicians calling out these activist groups in Japan trying to call for the ban of BL. Like, and regardless if you don't like BL or not, okay? Because I don't really care for it myself, I want to be honest with you. The point is, it shouldn't be censored. End of discussion. Simple as that. And it's clear what's going on. It's going on around the entirety of the world. It's getting bad. I'll leave it at that, though. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.